Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness. Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast.
My point to you is we have an aura. We have a way about us. And people could see it in seconds. It's our smile. It's our eyes. It's the way we communicate. It's the shirt we wear, the pants we wear, the shoes we wear, the way we get a haircut. It's the way of our promptness. Are we there early? Do we make the effort to care? Do we make the right eye contact with people? These are simple lessons that people need to be reminded about, because very easily in a world where there's AI or there's phones and smartphones, people don't interact the way we used to.
I want to invite you into the Business Network, my free school community for entrepreneurs and business owners who want to grow their network and scale their business. Inside, you'll get step-by-step lessons, monthly workshops, feedback, scripts, resources, bonuses, and a community of like-minded people who believe in helping each other win. Join us today at school.com/thebusinessnetwork and click Join Group. I'll see you inside.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona, and I just met with the guest today for about 5-10 minutes. I'm pretty pumped up. He's a lot like me, better looking though, but a servant's heart can come from many different areas. And that's what I love about it. It's not agnostic to an industry. Everybody should be doing this. So let's bring our guest on. We're going to talk a lot about that. But here's our gratitude for today. You're awesome. Always remember that. Look in the mirror and say, I'm awesome, because you are. You might be awesome in this area. Chad's awesome in that area. I'm awesome in this area. But remember, you're awesome. It's such a powerful word. I use it all the time. So with that being said, let's bring our guest on. Chad, hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve, so much for having me as a guest. I'm looking forward to sharing with you and talking with your audience about what it means and what it feels like to be a servant.
And let's start with your story. You were telling me before the show, you have a great story. So share that with us.
So, as you're talking to people about the fact that we're all fantastic, we're awesome, we are the best that we could be, right? A day of inspiration, a day of gratitude. Train the brain that every day is a great day. But I got here somehow when in third grade, I was in special ed, taking the short bus to school, knowing that I wasn't in a place where I really felt my soul should be. But my third grade was 3 kids, a teacher, cattle prod, padded walls, and no desks. So this is my start. And I was okay with that because the kids in my class were very special needs. I was ADD, and I just observed what it was like to even be in a worse situation than I was in. Going into 4th grade, which was going to be my first classroom with remedial, I broke my femur in half playing touch football. Now, someone tackled me, so that's how that happened. But I was in the hospital 6 weeks leading into the experience of remedial. I had to overcome basically everything. I learned how to read, write, math in 4th grade. That was my very beginning. What happened in 4th grade was the game changer for me. I had parents and mentors and people that would come into my life and share with me and teach me all the different things that I needed to help me become who I am. So I think from an early age, I knew that people would give to me and help me, that at some point I realized I had a gift of being able to help others. So I've helped others through my books and through my time. And one of my niches was helping unemployed executives find jobs. from 1997 till 2024, where it slowed down through other avenues that people found to get jobs, I guess. But the bottom line is, I was meeting with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people a week, talking to them about how to connect and how to communicate with people to find opportunities.
Networking, mentoring, it's a bunch of great words that you're bringing up here. So you became a mentee, you were a mentee, now you're a mentor. How
Right.
important people listening should have a mentor?
I personally believe that everyone should. I've had in my life, even currently, 2, 3, or 4 coaches at a time. And I even think of coaches as therapists. I have a therapist too, because why not? I love energy and healing. So my therapist is all about Reiki and healing and quieting the mind, because we all have a monkey mind. And if we don't know how to control the monkey mind, it takes control of us. So a Marine's mind, a really good set of mindset is learning how to control the monkey mind, but it's also about having coaches that could share with you the nuances to become the best that you could be. So when we wake up every day, are we being the best we could be, or are we just kind of going through life? Are we doing the things that it takes to make sure that we're happy, healthy, in shape, and that our brain is in shape? Are we doing the exercises it takes to have a strong way of being that's likable?
Yeah, that hub, mental, physical, spiritual. That flywheel should always be spinning, and you're working on something all the time. Peopletizing. I found this in your information. I've never heard the word, so I personally would love to know. I'm sure the audience would. What does that really mean?
So, 3 months before I started working at Payne Weber, I read a book, whether it was Ivan Meisner's BNI or Stanley, who wrote Networking with the Affluent. I started a networking group with 10 to 15 people. Very quickly, it grew to 80, and eventually grew to 300 people a month. So I'm networking with people. Peopletizing is a way of thinking. It's being thoughtful, caring, sharing, and mentoring. If someone has an ego as an example, don't go through life and have the ego. Nobody likes to work with people that have the ego. Become a mentor. Help the people that you would like to help raise to be better than where they are today. Being thoughtful is to care about other people and what they need to be able to succeed in their business and personal life. I've always taken the time to make introductions to help them connect to do business. And if they had emotional weaknesses, I would give them the confidence and the encouragement to do the things they need to do to get where they want to go. And so Peopletizing was my first book, which is just helping inspire people because we care. Steve, when and if you've ever been to a chamber meeting, there's not a chamber I've ever been to where it's not a group of people making 50 to 100 grand a year or less. As they're there, they're acting as takers instead of knowing that they have the ability to give. I find that those people that give other people business opportunities or introductions can do better business than those people that show up somewhere to just take.
I mean, you I know that. I'm lived this. I love this. That's why we connected right away before the show. But I hear this. I'm going to ask you this question because I hear it all the time when I mentor people. Is Steve, I understand that, but I got bills to pay. Yeah, I can help out Chad, Joe, Tim, Debbie, Joanne, but where's the money come to me? Where's my success so I can pay my bills?
So, Steve, that's a great question. So here's my answer. If I'm going to talk to Steve at a chamber meeting, hi, Steve, Chad Coe, financial advisor, helping people retire comfortably. That's my one sentence. If you don't engage or ask me a question to follow up with what I do for a living, given that it's a numbers game, I then turn it around and say, Steve, how do I help you with anything that you're looking for to make your life a better experience? When we're done talking, I go to the second person at the chamber meeting and then the third. It might be the fifth person who then says to me, hey, Chad, you're a financial advisor. I just had a really bad experience with mine. Are you open to talking with me about my money? My point to you is this: always be the giver until someone opens the door to have a conversation about what you do. There's a 3% rule out there, Steve, that 3% of the people need what you have. So if we do simple math, that's 3 out of 100. And we don't know which three it's going to be, and we don't know what day it's going to be because the next day it could be a different three. So the question is, how quickly can we go through 100 people, sharing with them what we do, so they can engage with us what they do to be able to turn it into a business opportunity? When you frame it like a game, then it's much easier to communicate knowing, yes, of course we have bills to pay. But wow, how much easier it is when you have the people that can hire you instead of how many hours we spend chasing people to do business with us when it's just not the right time for them to do it.
That whole scenario, you didn't pitch me once. Let's
No,
jump on a call and see how I can help you. Here's your pain
exactly.
point. If I can help, and you jump on a call and you can't help me, you'll probably go, here's Joe Smith. He probably can
100%.
help you. And
100%.
that's so cool because you're living my life right now. I'm very excited. So watch me out. I'm going to blow through this screen here because networking and connecting, there's a right way of doing it. And you just showed peopletizing. And by the way, get his book. And you know, I'm going to do this. Chad, I'm going to do something unique and different. Audience, if you want to connect better and have a better network, because your network's your net worth, and I say your quality network is your net worth. You don't need thousands of people, but right 100 people. I want the first 5 people. I'm going to make the first 5 people. If you reach out to Chad or me, you mention this podcast, I'm going to send you his book. You'll get a free
I love
book.
it.
You'll be able to grow. That's what us servant hearts do, right, Chad? We give back the way we can. So just mention the show. I'll mention again. I'll get his contact information. What's the biggest mistakes people make when they try to build relationships in
Well,
business?
number one, they don't trust first. They
Trust.
don't trust first. They're afraid of being sold. I have a belief that we have to trust first. Steve, when I saw you for the first time, I trusted that we're going to have a great interaction because I have the confidence and the knowledge from years of experience that this is going to be awesome. So number one, people don't trust first. Number two, they don't listen. 3, they don't learn to ask the right questions. 4, they don't think that they're an expert when they actually are. Because you could be an expert as a nuance of what you do. You don't have to be an expert at the whole thing. You're not a gift giver. You could give advice, you could give friendship, you could give a gift card. There's nothing more powerful than a Starbucks gift card. There's nothing more powerful than a handwritten thank you note. But my point to you is we have an aura, we have a way about us, and people could see it in seconds. It's our smile, it's our eyes, it's the way we communicate, it's the shirt we wear, the pants we wear, the shoes we wear, the way we get a haircut. It's the way of our promptness. Are we there early? Do we make the effort to care? Do we make the right eye contact with people? These are simple lessons that people need to be reminded about because very easily in a world where there's AI or there's phones and smartphones, people don't interact the way we used to. If you take the time to care, the universe will conspire to give you anything that you want. But you need to know how to ask. Steve, I tell the story when I was in my 20s as an entrepreneur. In this particular case, I was working with my grandmother from the age of 88 to 98, not making enough money. I had a mortgage to pay, and the banks, I was tapped out on credit cards, banks, and savings accounts. And I went outside, I'll never forget, on the driveway, looked up at the sky and said, Universe, God, please help me. I need cash. Quick. And the next 3 days in a row, I got money. Checks came in the mail. And I said, this is incredible. Now, I'll tell you that the checks came from my dad's investments that he had for me, but I
Doesn't
didn't
matter.
care.
Yeah.
It was the question of needing money was answered. From that day forward, I haven't stopped asking for what I want, whether it's big clients, small clients, good clients, bad clients, whatever it is that I want, I make the time to think about it, to focus on it, and in my case, manifest it. So when I wanted to raise money for charity, I founded a charity called Special Kids Network. We raised over $5 million. My goal was to have a charity golf outing with one celebrity that would raise money where we could give it to multiple charities who didn't have the ability to do their own outing. From that, I had 45 celebrities that would show up. We had 300 golfers, 2 golf courses. I net between $100,000 and $200,000 a year. And I did that for 20 years until 2020, when I decided it was my time to move on, do more auctioneering and less with my charity. And it got passed off to my board of directors. Today, they're still raising money through that charity and through my design. But it was my manifestation of wanting to do this where people then showed up and allowed it to happen.
Legacy. That is a powerful legacy that you're leaving, which is part of this networking servant's heart thing. So let me ask you this, because this is something I dealt with for many years, is serve way too much. Trying to put that round peg in a square hole. What's the answer to the audience? Because I hear that too when I'm mentoring. I'm helping this guy and, I just keep serving him.
Yeah.
Stop. Why do we stop and when do we stop?
I have people out there trying to protect me from a world of takers.
Mm-hmm.
And so the answer is, I honestly don't stop. I have a gentleman who called me today who just once, and he thanks me for everything that I give him. And I don't even know if he's likable. It's annoying. But I keep doing it because that's the way I'm wired. And for whatever reason, I'm okay with it. If he wasn't nice, kind, and generous to whoever he works with, I would turn him off. So we do have to make a conscious decision to turn people off at a certain point, but I'm always willing to give someone an hour of my time to see if I could help them get where they want to go. In my past, I would give them many, many hours, but that's the servant's heart. If we're a servant's heart, we don't need anything from them coming back to us. What we need is from other people that the universe wants to give us that's a right fit for what we do. It doesn't have to be a direct correlation. And so that's my idea of a servant's heart. I don't just shut people down to shut them down. I will listen. I will be there. I will respond. And at some point, they find someone else that they could take from. But until they do, I'm a slow person to back away from. I'm a responder. I'm a communicator, and I'm an empathetic soul of someone else's life.
You're a good man, and I've learned to do that too, because you said hours, and then now this guy, you just get emails, and that's how you fix that. So you're still serving instead of saying, "Hey, jump on a call every." I used to work with this guy every 30. Once a month we meet for an hour. He'd never do anything I'd tell him, and he'd come back and go, "Hey, I'm not growing. I'm not making any money." Well, did you do this, this, and this? So I just said, email me. Still serving him, but not putting that much time and effort in, because he got rude sometimes too, which wasn't good. And that's why I like that you said that. People are nice to you. There's a way to control, and that's. People listening, they know you've asked me this question. That's one of the best answers I've heard.
Thank you.
Let's talk about you're welcome. It's great stuff. And I've got great notes here. So talk about the 3 other books. Peopletizing is one of them. Talk about the 3 other books, because they're very unique and different.
So as I was speaking to Lee Hecht Harrison of the Unemployed Executives for 20 years, I realized I was building my confidence. And I was communicating with these executives who make anywhere between $100,000 and $1 million a year, and they were listening to every word I said. And what I learned is my confidence grew to a point where I was able to categorize what worked and be able to share that. And I'll go back to that. It was the listening, asking great questions, being an expert, being a gift giver, knowing that dress is important, and knowing that when you go through these environments with certain people, that you need to practice being in front of them. So as an example, I'm around millionaires and billionaires sometimes too, because I think you have some relationships like that. And what we realize is, as we talk to them, is they're just like us. I've met CEOs and presidents of Fortune 100 companies where I actually sit and engage with them one-on-one. I have actually a picture of Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan or Chase on my wall right here, where he was at a charity event with me and no one was talking to him. So I started to rapport with him, and I said, "Hey, can we get a picture? Because I have tiles on my wall. I'd love to have a picture of you, for my office." He goes, "Absolutely." So once we learn that, and once we practice, and once we see that it's a non-threatening, positive environment, confidence starts to build. The other thing I do is I assume that everybody wants to talk and interact with me because I have value to be able to give to those people I talk to. So even though I might be ghosted or things might happen where I think that it's slow out there for the reciprocation, I get more thank yous for being patient from people I'm talking to. So I no longer have fear. So my second book is The Confident Leader. I'm an auctioneer for charities. I've raised millions of dollars. I actually had one night, 250 people in the room, raised over $1 million. The energy in the room was just insane. I've worked with Tom Ricketts. I've worked with Dana Carvey. I have no fear. Dana and myself, we were 6 minutes up there. He was bebopping, making fun and doing stuff. We just killed it. And I have it on YouTube. It's at chadcoeauctioneer.com. So when you start auctioneering and you get in front of a room of 500 plus people and you're asking for money, thousands of dollars, it builds confidence and builds a way of being. So I created a parable called The Auctioneer's Apprentice, where Max and Sam have this banter and Max changes Sam's life because Sam sees the light.
Light's powerful. Man, that sounds wonderful. Well, audience, if you want that book, I'll get you that book too. So first 5 people, reach out. I'm going to get you one of the books. You go through, just tell me which one, and I'll get that for you. And if you're really nice, we'll see. Might surprise you with more. Let's end. We're coming to the end here. All this leads to legacy to me. We all want a great legacy. My business partner, Max, calls it those movie credits. When you go to a movie, you see the credits. What is your credits going to look like when they have that memorial for you? What's yours going to look like?
Well, I appreciate you asking. So my final book was Your Financial Dream House. So I should have wrote that book 25 years ago, being in the financial service business, but it's Your Financial Dream House, which is a metaphor for how do you live your best life. And so I figured out, I don't know if it's a trilogy, but it's a quadrupy, which is the 4. So I've written the 4 books that I dreamed of writing that are all done and they're there. I think the legacy that I leave is that my son, who's looking for an opportunity, is talking to a lot of people that know me. I made introductions and they're all telling my son what a great guy your dad is. He's always been there for me. And boy, what a successful guy he is. And for my son to hear that from other people, other than me telling him how great I am myself, right? Kidding. That's my legacy. I communicate with a lot of people, and a lot of people, if nothing else, feel that I'm a genuine soul who's been there for them when they needed it. And people have a tendency not to forget when you do that.
You think about your legacy, and I'm glad you brought that out, John. Again, powerful messaging that you're putting out there. So smart, because I don't think a lot of people think about it, and you should.
No.
You know, I'm 65. I think about it. Even in your 20s and 30s, think about what's that next 80 years or 50 years going to look like? 60 years. What do you want that to say? And yours is going to say a lot. And your son's going to be very happy because he's got a dad that's given, but it was also successful. That combination is just incredible. Kudos to you. Well, let's end with a fun question. This is outside everything you do. I'm going to come out to where you live, Chad. You're going to tell me your favorite restaurant. I'm going to reserve a table. You bring your son, your family, and me, and you. But I want you to invite 3 people, whether dead or alive, doesn't matter, who've been influential, who've been mentors in your life. And for me, and maybe your family, I'm a foodie. I want you to order food for the table. So what would you order?
This is a lot of questions, and I'm going to give you the answer. We would go to North Shore Bistro. You're going to be one of my guests. I have a really friend who passed away named Jim Leoto, who I didn't spend enough time with, whose son was the founder of Jimmy John's. I would love to be able to interact and have my dad back to be able to have him there because he would just absolutely love that. Bob Kaufman was in my office as a cognitive therapist and mental developer who had just great wisdom and ideas and strength for me. And if I were to pick one more person, I'm going to pick the world of my networking group because they'd all love to be there and be able to share a meal with me and be inspired by the people that are sitting there. And one last one for you before we get to what I order. I'm doing a podcast at the end of this month where I have a gentleman who worked for W. Clement Stone for 15 to 20 years. And then I have a gentleman who worked one-on-one with Bob Proctor from The Secret. And I'm bringing them together and I'm going to let them banter about what that was like to be with those 2 great people.
Wow. Powerful.
And in the way of what we're ordering, we're going to have nice filet. We're going to have duck, vegetables, and sweet potato.
All set. I've never had duck. It'd be a great pleasure
Never
to enjoy
had
duck
duck.
with you.
It's my favorite.
Okay, well then we're going to do that. Chad, audience, this is amazing. I've met Chad 35, 40 minutes ago. And when you meet people like Chad, You're going to love them. And I love you. And I love what you're doing. I know people listening want to connect with you. So how can they do that?
You just go to LinkedIn, it's under Chad Coe. If I'm on Instagram, it's Chad Coe Official. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook. If you Google me, I come up about 300,000 times. But there was a period of time where I came up under the priest in Carpenterville who was a child molester. So I'm not him. He has no hair. But I think that he comes up second behind me now. But at the end of the day, right, I'm out there. I'm Chad Coe. It's branded as Chad Coe. I love the name Chad Coe. It works for me. And the bottom line is if you reach out to me, you're going to get a response. And I really appreciate and value everyone who listens to Steve because he is somebody special. I've been doing podcasts now for many, many years. And Steve might go down as the very best host that I've actually worked with. So kudos and thank you to you, Steve. And a ton of fun being here with you.
It was a blast. Name of the podcast and where they can find that.
It's under Coe Financial Group. So it's on YouTube and it's just the label Coe Financial Group. And if you want to have a little bit of fun, my wife and I do a podcast also under the Chill Experience. You take Chad and Jill and you get chill. And we just kind of talk about life and what's going on with our life and what we do. And people are really giving us great feedback and saying, and encouraging us to keep doing it. And as a servant's heart, the reason why I do it is my wife wanted to do a podcast with me and I couldn't say no.
I'm subscribed. You got one new subscriber right here. I'm going to do it right after this show.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Chad, again. And to subscribe to Chill Factor or Doing Business Servant's Heart or Chad's podcast. Here's why. Because these could be gifts. And I guarantee you, you share this podcast of Chad to other people who are struggling, they're going to be happy. They're going to learn something. And guess what? They're going to motivate them maybe to do something. And I think these podcasts are gifts because if you change somebody's life, you've given them a gift. So with that being said, isn't that great, Chad? So with that being said, me and Chad want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care. Thank you.